Start with our pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Haley, are there any changes to the agenda to note for the board and the audience? Okay, thank you. We'll move into public comment. We only have one person signed up. Ren, come on up.
Okay. Hi, my name is Ren Shockey. I've been living in Klamath Falls since I was 17 years old. I want to talk to you guys today about homelessness, disability, and the social safety net more broadly. When I got here, it was pretty impossible to find work. I've spoken about this before. So I got a job working as a parts washer in a factory. Now, unbeknownst to me, I had a condition called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which made my hips and my back and my knees more susceptible to damage because my connective tissue doesn't work properly. So I worked that job for a couple of months, and since then I've been in pretty much consistent chronic pain. I've had difficulties with mobility, and I applied for Social Security when I was 19 years old in September of 2022. I have been trying to do the right thing pretty much consistently throughout, this process. And something that kind of helped me find some meaning was that I would volunteer at my church doing a soup kitchen, doing that weekly when I was healthy enough to be able to do it, calling out when I wasn't. I got back my third denial from Social Security about 2 weeks ago, and something that was directly used against me in that process was that I had volunteered at my local church. Now, under the substantial gainful activity standard of disability, somebody who works, I believe it is up to 20 hours a week is somebody who is still disabled because they're not able to hold down a consistent income that would be enough for them to be able to support themselves or to have a life without relying on stuff like Medicaid or food stamps. Just the feeling of injustice, the feeling of getting screwed over, the feeling of being an idiot, of working into a system thinking that Social Security was something that existed to be a safety net for people, and then having a judge say, you're too young, you don't deserve to get $550 a month. It's pretty devastating. It's pretty devastating for a person like me. Because now for the rest of my life, I'm kind of locked into a reality where I'm never going to be able to own a home. I'm never going to be able to be eligible for my parents' Social Security benefits when they retire. I'm never going to be able to own more than $3,000. And if I'm very lucky, I'll be dependent on Section 8 for the rest of my life. It's pretty difficult for somebody that wants to participate, for somebody that wants to contribute. It's pretty rough, and I want people to have to realize that the nice little lies that we tell ourselves, that there is a social safety net that takes care of people, that catches people when they fall through the cracks, is a lie to make us feel better about the money that we make and the jobs that we work. And there's actually plenty of people who fall through the cracks, and when you look at the amount of people that are homeless in Klamath Falls, a lot of those people can't work. A lot of those people got screwed over by SSA in the exact same way. Thank you.
Thanks, Ren. I assume meeting minutes from the last time we were together are okay with both of you?
Yeah. Yes.
All right. Next up, we do have a proclamation, and I know we have some folks here for that. If anybody would like to join the board here, and some of you folks are here for this. If you want to come up, you're welcome to. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, you're welcome to come up. Welcome. This is the matter of proclaiming the week of October 5th through 11th, 2025 as Mental Illness Awareness Week in Klamath County, Oregon. Whereas severe mental disorders such as schizophrenia, bipolar, obsessive-compulsive, major depression, and severe anxiety disorders affect 1 in every 5 families annually, and whereas exciting things are happening in Klamath County and nationally in services to people with mental illness, and whereas scientific research has proven that these are highly treatable, biochemically based medical brain disorders rather than due to childhood trauma caused by poor parenting or which was erroneously thought for a long time. And whereas many people continue to suffer alone in prisons or on the streets because of lack of an understanding, and whereas Mental Illness Awareness Week is observed throughout our nation to increase public awareness of the help available to those with severe mental illness and to promote a greater understanding of those who suffer, now therefore be it proclaimed by this Board of Commissioners that the week of October 5th through 11th, 2025 is dedicated to Mental Illness Awareness Week in Klamath County. And this is done and dated and signed by all three commissioners. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Here you go.
Thank you so much. We just have a few things coming up that week of October 5th through 11th. So we're starting out on Sunday to hopefully draw the community together for rock painting, and they can do whatever they want on their rocks. Everybody brings rocks, and we have all the stuff to design them with or write on it, and then spread them all over the community. And then on Friday, we're going to be set up with the table of information at the Goodwill from 12 to 4 so that people can come in and get information. Everything NAMI does is free, so everything we give out is free. And then on Saturday, we are hosting a presentation by CERT, Community Emergency Response Team, to help people understand how to be prepared in case of an earthquake, a fire. We probably won't have a flood, but it's nice to be prepared anyway. And so we're doing that for the community. And so hopefully that will be a good week for us, so we'll get lots of people involved. And thank you very much.
Thank you.
Want to leave that there?
Yeah, let me.
If you were kind of not loud enough, but anyway.
It picked the mic, that microphone does pick up.
Oh,
for the
Gets
recording.
everybody.
Anything?
No? Great. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you. For those following along on the agenda, I will move us into item 7.1. This is a finance item.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
This budget resolution is a supplemental in the general fund reserve, and the juvenile capital projects fund. The Board of County Commissioners approved $1.2 million from opioid settlement funds to be spent on the juvenile capital project. This resolution budgets for the remainder of those funds to be transferred from the general fund reserve.
I move that we approve the supplemental budget resolution for fiscal year 25-26 as outlined in the attached documents with the fiscal impact of $620,472.14 increase in revenue and expenditure in general fund reserve, and juvenile capital project fund.
Second.
We have a motion now for our consideration. Does the board have any discussion, comments, or questions before I have us vote?
I do not.
All right, let's vote, you guys. All in favor signify with an aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion passes. Thanks, Vicki. Do you have additional items? Do you want to do your
Yes,
other items?
10.4. This is in the matter of an agreement between Klamath County and Klamath IDEA to promote economic development. During the August 26, 25 finance meeting, the Board of County Commissioners authorized $15,000 to Klamath IDEA to assist in funding the entrepreneurial focused economic development plan. A contract for services is now signed by Klamath IDEA and is being presented for signature by the board.
I move that we approve and sign the contract with Klamath IDEA to promote economic development with a fiscal impact of $15,000 expenditure to the Economic Development Fund for fiscal year 25-26.
Second.
We have a motion for our consideration related to supporting Klamath IDEA. Are there any questions, Vicki, before we vote? All right, then I'll call the question. All in favor signify with an aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion passes. 10.5.
This is to approve an agreement with Klamath County Economic Development Association for economic development services. The Board of County Commissioners, in consultation with the Finance Office, issued a request for proposals to solicit offers from organizations interested in providing these services. The BOCC accepted the proposal from Klamath County Economic Development Association on June 3rd of 25. The initial contract will be for 4 years, 9 months, and the contract may be renewed for 2 additional 2-year terms for a total of 8 years, 9 months.
I move that we approve the agreement with Klamath County Economic Development Association for Economic Development Services with a fiscal impact of $315,000 expenditure from the Economic Development Fund.
Second.
Great. We have a motion for our consideration. Any comments, questions, thoughts?
Yes, Chair, if I may.
Sure.
This has been a fairly contentious process for me. I've prepared some words I'd like to say today in preparation for this vote. I want to start by saying that I believe in economic development, and I believe it's critical for Klamath County. I value our businesses, our entrepreneurs, our community partners who are working hard to grow jobs and strengthen our economy. Thank you for the work you do. We need strong economic development, and I want to support it. My first duty as a commissioner in sitting up here is to protect the public's trust and to assure the accountability of taxpayer dollars. CASITA has received millions in public funding, including $750,000 taxpayer dollars that were combined with private investor money to grow the Klamath Revitalization Fund. To this day, despite repeated requests from myself, I haven't received clear answers about where those dollars went, who profited, and how the public has benefited from it. That's not transparency, and that's not accountability. When this board asked for a routine, independent audit to be in this contract, something that's standard practice in both the business world and the nonprofit sector, CASITA pushed back at every step. We were told audits are, quote, a waste of resources, and that they could interfere with non-disclosure agreements. We were told that transparency is already there. And then, just Friday, I was asked if I'd be willing to sign a non-disclosure agreement to have access to the information I wanted to see. Ladies and gentlemen, that's not acceptable when we're talking about public funds. When taxpayer dollars are involved, the public has a right to know how they're being used, and it's not negotiable, and it's not subject to a non-disclosure agreement. That's the very essence of public accountability. Transparency isn't optional when you're using public funds, and neither is just trust us. It has to be earned, and it has to be kept. And right now, under the current leadership and structure, I'm not sure how much I trust what's going on inside CASITA. CASITA has argued back to us that requiring audits is, quote, selective governance, because the county doesn't have some sort of blanket policy requiring audits on all contracts. To argue that is to pretend this board has no authority. The truth is, the Board of Commissioners is the policy-making authority for Klamath County. Every time we vote on a contract, we're setting policy. And oversight isn't one size fits all. It must be applied where the risks are the greatest. And when public money is combined with private investments, I think the risks are obvious. So requiring an audit in this case is not selective governance. It's the very definition of responsible stewardship of the taxpayer dollar. I am deeply concerned about conflicts of interest within CASITA. When the same individuals serve as board officers, financial contractors, or when private interests overlap with the management of public funds, the appearance of self-dealing is unavoidable. That's precisely why we have laws in Oregon, and that's why we have independent audits and disclosures as standards. Conflicts of interest, while may not be crimes, they should be addressed openly and transparently with the public, so we have confidence in how those public dollars are spent and the money's managed. And if the investors are truly the philanthropists that they claim, then why not disclose? Why not be transparent and strengthen the credibility? Secrecy suggests just the opposite. To the officers of CASITA, and many of you I see here today, I have a question. Did you vote to allow $749,000 in public loan funds that were intended for workforce housing, to be combined with private investor money, even your own CEO's personal investment in the fund, ultimately to build high-end custom homes and purchase land from your own members? And if so, do you truly think that that is the proper use of taxpayer dollars? Every business in Klamath County pays taxes. Why should only those who can afford dues or have the right connections get access to the opportunities that are funded by the public? So after a lot of thought today, I'm going to support this contract, which a lot of people probably didn't think I would say. Because there is a lot of good things Casita does. And I do believe in economic development in our community. I want this organization to be open and transparent and willing to demonstrate that when using public dollars through independent audits and honest reporting, and that public funds are being used properly and effectively in the interest of the public. The county deserves that, and the taxpayers deserve that. I'll make a motion to accept the contract.
Okay, I think we had the motion on the table, so is there any other discussion before we vote?
With all due respect to my colleague, I couldn't disagree more with the transparency that comes out of the organization that provides economic development services to our community in collaboration with our largest municipality, the city of Klamath Falls, who is also represented here today, and some of this community's, well, over 130 different community business leaders and organizations. I meet with Casita as their liaison on a weekly basis. I believe I'm completely up to date on every project that they're working on, including KRF. I believe if you look in the minutes when the loan was awarded to Casita, the intent of who benefits. You'd only need to look to the minutes to see who benefits, and it's the organization that benefits. So I appreciate the comments, and obviously entitled to your own position, but having worked with Casita now for nearly a decade, I do believe that they are the right partner. They keep this board very well informed through their liaison efforts.
Okay, anything else before I have this vote?
No.
All right, all in favor signify with an aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion passes. Vicki, as treasurer, you had a couple of items too, 10.6 and
Yes,
10.7.
this is in the matter of approving an addendum number 1 to professional service contract between Government Portfolio Advisors and Klamath County. The original contract between GPA and Klamath County expires on October 31st of 2025. This addendum provides for a 2-year extension through October 31 of 27. This is the first of 2 available 2-year extensions.
I make a motion the board approve and authorize the county treasurer to assign the addendum to the professional services contract between Government Portfolio Advisors and Klamath County. Fiscal impact is $49,000 annual expenditure to the general fund treasurer department.
Second.
All right, we have a motion for our consideration. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, let's vote. All in favor signify with an aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion passes. 10.7.
This is also an extension. This is with Umpqua Bank for Treasury Management Services. This extension between Klamath County and Umpqua Bank, who has changed their name to Columbia Bank, so AKA Columbia Bank, allows for a 2-year renewal at the same costs set forth in the original contract. This new expiration date for the agreement will be September 1 of 2027.
I'll make a motion the board approve and authorize the treasurer to sign an extension between Umpqua Bank, aka Columbia Bank, and Klamath County. The fiscal impact is an estimated $250 expenditure to the treasurer department.
Second.
All right, we have a motion now for consideration. Unless there's discussion, I will just have us vote. All in favor signify with an aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion passes.
Thank you.
Did you vote? Did I hear you vote?
I did.
Okay. All right, next up, we'll go back up in our agenda to 8.1, on-site.
Hey, Army.
Hi, Navy.
How you doing?
All right, Sarah Hill, Klamath County on-site, in partnership with the Department of Environmental Quality, the wastewater division, specifically septic systems. The DEQ has proposed a 3% increase in their surcharge fee, which is a pass-through fee. Klamath County is not funded by the general fund, and we take the funds that we collect from septic permits to run our department. When we take in the fees for our permits, we also collect a surcharge fee, and we send that to the DEQ every quarter. And they are proposing November 1st a fee increase of 3%. Currently, that fee is $117, and it will be going to $120. And I'm asking for an adoption of the fee increase and on-site fee schedule.
I move that we approve and sign the attached resolution adopting the new fee schedule as outlined in the attachment A, effective November 1, 2025 for onsite.
Second.
All right, we have a motion for consideration. Any questions about onsite before we vote?
No.
Okay, let's vote then. All in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
I vote aye as well, so that motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too, thank you.
Item 9.1, again, I'm jumping around in the agenda to group-like items, but this is the matter of appointing Casey Lanning and David Carpenter to the Klamath County Ambulance Advisory Committee. That committee has vacancies and has recommended the above-named applicants who are willing, able, and eligible to serve. I move that we approve and sign the attached order appointing Casey Lanning and David Carpenter to the Klamath County Ambulance Advisory Committee.
Second.
Right, we have a motion for our consideration on our appointments. Unless there's discussion, I ask that we all vote. All in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion passes. Okay, 10.1. Stephanie, Community Development.
Hey.
Stephanie Brown, Klamath County Community Development Department. This is in the matter of approval of a memorandum of agreement with the Klamath Tribes and our Klamath County Building Department. They are hiring us as third party for their inspections, and this will be for the prefab office, and the estimated revenues are going to be $774.
I move that we approve the MOA with Klamath Tribes, a federally recognized Indian tribe acting by and through the Klamath Tribal Planning Department to provide building code consultation and related services. This agreement shall expire June 30, 2026. This also authorizes our community development manager to sign. The fiscal impact is estimated revenue of $774.
Second.
Right, we have a motion for consideration now. Unless anyone has comments or questions, I'd like us to vote. All in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion passes. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Stephanie. And last but certainly not least, public health, coming up.
Look at you.
It's almost like the chair doesn't like you. 10.2.
Okay, this is in the matter of approving amendment number 2 to our IGA number 184233 between Oregon Health Authority and Public Health. And as you may recall, back in October of 2024, we signed an agreement to receive reproductive health funding for the correctional facilities. And so we've been going into the jail and providing services to them, including contraceptive services, pregnancy testing, and STI screening and treatment. And this adds additional funding so that we can continue doing that work through March 31 of 2026, and we already have our MOU with the jail to be doing these services.
Make a motion to approve Amendment 1 to IGA 184233 between OHA and Klamath County Public Health. Fiscal impact is $18,807.31 revenue to Subdepartment 4044, Clinical Nursing, and authorize the department head, Director Little, to sign.
Second.
All right, we have a motion for consideration. Unless there's questions of our health director, I will have us vote. All in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, and that motion does pass. And finally, 10.3.
This is in the matter of approving amendment number 2 to our IGA number 185817 for financing of public health services between Oregon Health Authority and Klamath County Public Health. This delegates authority to Klamath County Public Health to operate public health programs in the county. This specific amendment adds program element description 3 for tuberculosis services. It also updates our financial assistance award to reduce funds for PE12, which is emergency preparedness, as a proactive response to unknown federal funding availability. I would just add that this, it's a little weird simply because this reduces the funding, but then the state just got the notice of award. So we're going to be adding this funding back in another amendment, but just so you know, that's what this amendment specifically is for.
I'm going to make a motion to approve Amendment 2 to IGA 185817 for financing of public health services between OHA and Klamath County Public Health. Fiscal impact is grant revenue decrease of $17,351.01 to Subdepartment 4029 for fiscal year 25-26. Authorize the department head, Director Little, to sign.
Second.
We have a motion now for our consideration. Unless there's any questions of the director,
I have none.
all in favor signify with an aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion passes. That concludes our agenda, save for the opportunity that I can offer for commissioner reports if anyone is desiring to give one.
I'm good, thank you.
Yes, just quickly, I was in Bridgeport, California, end of last week and through the weekend, where the Western Interstate region of the National Association of Counties had their annual fall board meeting. I sat as the second vice president of that organization, where we discussed all things really public lands once again, and the relationship between the counties, mostly in the West, that host those public lands, and the federal government, by and through the way they manage them, as well as the payments that are received by the communities that host those lands. Specifically, right now we're talking about payment in lieu of taxes, or PILT, secure rural schools, or revenue sharing as it's related to timber, mining, grazing, and those types of efforts on public land. A whole lot of work still to do. Very difficult right now to have a conversation with Congress. They can't even seem to kind of get on the same page to keep the wheels turning and the doors open. But hopefully, as they get past that, we can get back at the table and continue to have that conversation. As I believe everyone in our community right now is painfully aware, the amount of dollars that is being lost through their inability to fund those programs is fairly staggering. And it's going to directly impact this county's ability to provide services to our citizens, as well as our schools to provide quality education to our kids. So we'll continue to work our darndest on that front. I'm hopeful that I'm done going to DC for the year, but I think I might have to go back one more time. So we'll fight that fight until they tell us it's over, and then we'll continue to fight that fight. So that's all I got.
I can report out briefly. I was scholarshiped to travel with a group of elected officials from Oregon, as well as business leaders from Oregon, on a concept called industrial symbiosis. I've spoke about it before and been part of a study tour in the past, and it's encouraging to see that the state is continuing to pursue this as a strategy. The basic concept behind it is that nothing should be wasted, and we should make money off of our waste, or companies rather should make money off of their waste. So it's an effort that is done around the world to help companies collaborate with each other to make good, make financially beneficial uses of their waste products. So it was great to work with a handful of elected officials from Oregon, including the Ways and Means co-chairs that are very helpful people to get to know, and some really high-profile business leaders, Jacobson Salt and many others from around the state. So looking forward to some legislation being introduced soon, again, related to this concept, and Klamath County actually has a pilot project that we've teed up if we can get the bill through the state legislature. So that was my week last week, and I'm glad to be back, and I will adjourn us at 1:30.
Welcome home.